Move that out this way. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. So it zoom in. It's as much as it zooms. It's not bad. Let's focus auto. I think it's focused. Focus far. Auto. Okay, that guy. Closer.
It's just the light. So, for some reason, make it brighter. Okay, the tips down. That's a little bit, but it's all right. Okay. You can see their shoes. Okay. Is that where it was? Yeah. Not until the very last second. Oh. Yeah. What is it? Sticker. Wow.
So is this already on, or?
So hold the power button down just for a second. There you go. You said battery light shows up in your phone. There you go. Anything you can
So, oh, very good. Well, look at that. You guys are so long.
in the county, that is, it makes it the right environment for the school district. Coming in and school, there are what I believe that's what we do. Today's member that's the most important. Sure. And just my personal thought on the school district. Looking for it more. There's no honest one of the most powerful and most influential one that over think about it first. And how do you those things which we concern ourselves with the laws, it exists in our mind. We were curious and for the most part we were all saved. Even though I said there was no time in our lives it was not a part of what we do expect and the thing of our school district. Now in our community there is the absolute responsibility for the providing and enriching for our children. It is not a task to say the least. You know, we're getting into it. With that in mind, we thank you for being here to offer your time, experience, and time in service to our children and to the betterment of our community and hopefully a little bit of what it is that offers. Such a with us. There is a specific stream, so after you get to watch it again, that's in there. And the link is having that table of refreshments. The residents of the street, they certainly share that most students receive. The city has a responsibility to keep and inform and must make decisions using input from the public and guidance from district staff while acting within state and federal regulations. They set budgets, adopt curriculum, approve school policies, including disciplinary policies, appoint superintendent, and continuously plan, evaluate, advocate, and govern the school district. The main purpose of this meeting is to learn about his priorities, values, and how they intend to ensure, how he intends to ensure access to quality education for all students. As far as the process, everyone has 3 minutes to respond to each question. We'll start your that the instructions. And around a quarter after 7 or 7:20, we'll be getting to closing statement. So this will go to about 7:20. If you have a cell phone, please turn it on or put it on silent mode. You can ask questions. There are cards and pens available so you can write questions down and raise your hand and someone will pick up your card and write them. We will not be able to take questions verbally. You could return any unused cards in your pens. That will be on the computer. Then we do if you need a card or a pen, I'll go ahead and cancel the card. And if you respond to the question is not read, you will. Okay. And review everybody else. Okay, that's fine. Just quickly about myself. I was born at the other end of the county, all the way at the other end of the county, that's okay. But I grew up, and actually, my father was a Puerto Rican, so, stay constant, read and education, great experience, and it's graduate studies in instructional systems, business learning, and grade-based learning, which is so, one of the greatest experiences of my life. We actually moved out with Dr. Cole for Dr. Cole. My wife was a nurse, and we were there at high school, which was called PT. I came back here to give our own that and we were project to be and we experimented with a lot because we were country school. I should have also we did the serious stuff because people they couldn't do that. So we had a lot of hands-on kids back then. The matching was happening. To this day, I run into those kids with various results in their lifestyle, but they all remember the fun we had in school. I think that's why a lot of you do is to bring the fun back to school. And that's what we do these groups. So that, and I'm probably not going to up. You know, yeah. Anyway, so in that time, I volunteered at conference, volunteer. So, in very hard, with all the students, so this week, so this is very is older than I am. So there's lots of stuff there, you know, I'll given our council, I do my rate is, and I'm going to where did I go to school? Why did you go to school? Oh, that covered all three campuses. So their work obligations changed dramatically. So the school board advertised for a replacement, and I interviewed for that, and the board chose me. I wanted to get involved in the school board for some time. I'm a product and I in graduation. Now, Mansfield University and now Commonwealth University, and I love I had a quality education in the Pennsylvania public school system. My teachers were dedicated. I enjoyed most classes. I can't not enough algebra, but and geometry. But I did like the teachers. And there are several. I mean, that was early late 70s, mid 70s. And I can still remember Mrs. Miller, my seventh grade teacher, doing a world tour in class, and she had to pretend that there was some console that she would put on her desk. She would assign students to be flight attendants, or at that time, stewardesses, shows young girls, and those tours of countries all over the world, and students were assigned. You had to be information, talk about culture, dress, government. And at that time, what I thought were exotic countries like China, Cambodia, this was at the end of the Vietnam War, and American, European, they were there. Many students went out of the way to bring food or a snack to that country. Oh, so what I'm trying to get across is the power
teachers, custodians, coaches, mentors, administrators, and I want to make this community strong. And I want it so attractive. People want to able to stand strong. And the way for me to do that is to empower our administrators and empower our teachers and the support staff and bring on the task force and ensure that our district has the opportunity to provide success. So that's what brought me into the community. And
Depending on what committee you may choose to be on, school board members may be needed to attend multiple meetings per month. Most are scheduled in the evening, but sometimes they happen during the day. To meet this demand, can you manage a flexible schedule to also attend committee meetings, or can you only attend the 2 monthly meetings, the public work session and voting nights?
that's an excellent question. I've been on the board now about a year and a half. And yeah, some months it can be challenging because I serve as chair of the curriculum committee. And so that's another evening meeting. For example, right now, we're in the midst of searching for a superintendent. So we had a series of evening meetings with consultants. We have one on Monday evenings. And yes, I attend them every once in a while. There's a conflict. For anybody who's watching online or any of us, we have many obligations. And this is a volunteer position, folks. We're not paid to be part of this. But it's very important to me to give back to the community. My mother and my father. My father was a physical education teacher and a football coach. And then he transitioned in the 60s, and believe it or not, he switched from being a teacher. He applied to the FBI and became an FBI agent. So we moved around a bit with that. My mother was English and Spanish major and an English teacher. And so they instilled in me the value of getting involved. And my mother, through the 1970s, was a Republican committee woman. And she campaigned heavily for Richard Nixon. She campaigned very heavily for Gerald Ford. Of course, she was very disappointed and furious with Richard Nixon after Watergate. She liked Jerry Ford. And she gained quite a bit of attention in Pennsylvania because when Betty Ford, who she admired and actually many times, and I cared for my mother. I moved her up to this area about the last 10 to 15 years of her life because her health was deteriorating. And I was having to go every weekend to take care of household details and was becoming quite a challenge. And anyway, when Betty Ford visited to campaign for her husband in Pennsylvania, she was put in charge of that as a volunteer. And so she arranged when Betty landed at the airport, had the high school marching band, greeted Betty, planned her whole thing. And she really emphasized to me, Rick, I don't care about your politics, I don't care about anything along that line. I just want you involved and to give back to the community. I chair the Castleton Township Recreation Committee and it's all volunteer, obviously. And under my leadership, the committee started Castleton Day and also Halloween parade, Christmas tree lighting. So all those things together, yes, it's a bit of managing, but one can do it. I have a somewhat flexible job because of my teaching schedule. university.
Moving over to curriculum, CTC, the first question is one that's tougher for everybody, whether you're teaching or your mom or dad or your kid in the classroom. We have a program for students with exceptionalities, and that's the entire range. How, reworking this question, okay? Because I've seen it, over the years when I was teaching and today, it still exists, that how do you accommodate that range? Because the word inclusion that was mentioned years ago actually ended up being a word that just meant dumping ground. Jam them all together in the same classroom, and it didn't suit any of the kids. How, I don't know what the district's doing now, it's been on so long, but how can we move forward with all the things we have in technology, and we've learned about how to help kids be themselves and be as productive as they were likely when they leave, no matter their exceptionality. Can you address that, or what are your thoughts about that?
The issues around equity in the classroom and including students, in that local term of exceptionalities or inclusive education, it is very broad, and that could include profoundly a handicap or disability, could be gifted, it's sort of an older term, but there are a couple of challenges in that area. One is the state and the federal government have many mandates that are a challenge for both teachers and school districts, many unfunded mandates, and that's occurred over a number of years. But I think with highly trained teachers, paraprofessionals, classroom professionals, and supportive administrators, and a system that acknowledges those differences, that the district can step up to those challenges. And there are a number of issues. For example, I know there are teachers working here tonight at their desk, probably doing paperwork, IAPs for students of different abilities. And those are the people that we have to acknowledge, reinforce, and assist in serving those students. And also we have to work with these families as a team approach. And as a school board member, my role is more global in making sure the funding is there, that the staff have the resources they need to work with those diverse learners.
I'm going to combine several here. Elementary, middle school, high school, CTC. Since you're the chair of the curriculum committee, where are, and maybe it's impossible to ask, I shouldn't ask this, but where are we headed as a district as far as changing, moving forward with curriculum in the district? Because in my day, it was, here's this, these are the 6 things that everybody needs, American national government and all those things. But it is very different now. A lot of folks don't know that it is very different now. Where are we headed as a district with curriculum? Or where would you like to take it? Let me put it that way.
And in actuality, Keystone Central is pushing forward in terms of curriculum. And they have a great curriculum coordinator. And if we look at our Career and Technical Center, we're one of the few districts that has an internal Career and Technical Center, and such a successful one. It's well known on state level. Kurt, who is the director there, is going gangbusters with curriculum and technical certifications, programs, articulation agreements. Students can graduate from Keystone Central already having completed externships, that they have a job at graduation. We have articulation agreements with multiple unions, trades, and 2- and 4-year colleges, that a student could graduate and already have a semester under their belt when they arrive to, for example, at Lock Haven University. So it's pretty astounding when you think of decades ago as to the progress that's been made. Our current curriculum director, Megan, is going topic by topic or subject by subject and adhering to the guidelines from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. And right now, she and the Family and Consumer Sciences just updated their curriculum. She just did special education, inclusive education. She already did health education. So she's working through all of the programs in it. We want to make the program so parents can easily understand it. And also that the teachers can help their students adhere to Pennsylvania Department of Education guidelines and easily understand their achievable, the goals that they need to achieve. So it's actually, we're investing quite a bit of money, we're investing time and staff training in these programs.
I'll follow that up with a question. So when are we going to have a makerspace in CDC or somewhere in the building? The makerspace. Okay, makerspace is the 21st century version of shop.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Because
Yes.
when you go to the big city, say college, or one of the other big cities, there are co-working spaces. So someone with a small business and no employees goes in, sits down, they have a printer, a place to be, they put their business right out there. We have such a wonderful place to live. Young people will come here if they got that kind of an atmosphere, but for our kids, if they're able to experience that whole situation of maybe playing business, that is a place they can go in and experiment with a robot doing things like that.
Very similar, like what I would call an incubator, where various people come together. Sometimes it's desk space, sometimes, but it's almost like a consortium. The students in the CTC do have a robust program available to them where they can be placed with dozens of businesses in the community and facilities. And there are also, Kurt at the CTC is working with adult learners as well. For example, working with First Quality, there's a group of about 6 or 7 cohort employees that are going to get some specialized training through CTC. And those are programs that our students can take advantage of. For example, there's another program, which I think is one. We have students graduating in an EMT program who are current students, but they'll have their EMT before they graduate. And they'll have that in December. And that's a unique program. So there are just many ways that students are interacting with business community, facilities, government, corporate area.
I'm going to combine two words because it is about the kids. And I'm sorry, folks, I'm on a broken record, but it really is about the kids. Because when any of us visit, like my son visited Austin, Texas, that's the tech world, that's the new San Francisco. You know. Anyway, our kids are, so what we've done is we've managed, and these two questions address math instruction and the arts. Everything that we do on our cell phone, website, you drive downtown, we're surrounded by art. In fact, we don't understand much unless we've got something there to represent what we're supposed to be thinking about or we want to think about. And that is driven mostly by computer technology somewhere, somehow. Math is a big part, it's a huge part. In fact, our son said, just a couple of years ago, he said, man, I wish I would have paid more attention to calculus. And I should tell this teacher that someday there's will be coffee. So there's that. What can we do to grow that? And the arts, it's all about music, it's all about art, it's drawing, graphics. There are 2 workshops now that are starting out downtown, or the middle one, the Arts Council, where we're focusing on showing folks how to create really good art so that you make the web pages look better. We have people struggling to do art classes. We're down to like 1 or 2 people in art. We're down to a person to have 1 or 2 people doing music. And so around that, we've got the same level cocktail. What's our direction forward with that so that we become more relevant to the kids and what they're seeing and doing with? And then moving forward from the kids, then our community becomes much better because then we are more educated long-term for our kids. Is that too much?
No, I'm getting where you're going, yes. The whole concept of, it used to be STEM, now it's STEAM, where arts are included as part of that. Because we know that studying art does something to the brain. And the young person who incorporates art into math and into science, that all of those are related. And now I have my graduate degree, my master's and doctorate are in health ed, public health ed. And the new area in our field is arts and health, and using art for communities and public to heal and address root causes of anger, violence, those kinds of issues. But back to this, the school board is a little divided, folks. There are differences of opinions on the school board, but I am convinced that we have enough people on the school board who are committed to art and music, as well as athletics, as well as science and all those, and balancing those kinds of things. And so I certainly am committed to expanding the arts in the Keystone Central District. Now, whether that's artists in residence, we find a grant, get some artists in residence in our buildings and up at Bucktail and in the elementary schools, or we partner with some community agencies. I think those are some ways that we really can harness the power of the community. Because the university at Lock Haven has also seen tremendous cutbacks in the arts. disturbing comebacks in the arts. And art helps to create culture. If you want to make this community attractive and embrace the community and keep our graduates here, they need the arts and they need music and we need marching band, we need choir and all of these opportunities. So I fully embrace that. Fully embrace
We could get this, it's a fun discussion. I'm sure we would all like to discuss more about what that is, because it is about the brain. Athletics. Um, do you do, what was or was your involvement in athletics?
You mean in my personal life? Yeah, I was a swimmer, believe it or not.
So you're gonna get us a swimming pool. You're going to get us a swimming pool.
That would be nice. A lot of money. But there have to be some big donors in this county. We could name the pool after them.
Wow, public school systems are not required to offer athletics to students. Should the district maintain, decrease, or increase athletic offerings? I'm assuming that this includes, because I thought about this the other day, we had a retired Marine for as an instructor and basketball coach. So every spring, every fall, we had to take the Marine test, which wasn't so bad until we had to run around the school 3 times to pass the doggone thing. So I'm assuming that there would be, what could we do, I guess, what would be your approach then? To seeing that we do have some kind of activity in that direction, and also, it's not required, so where do we go? Because if it's one big important, the diabetes is the root. My wife retired as a diabetic nurse, and she would see more and more juvenile diabetes as she was retiring. Very hospital.
Well, speaking of healthcare, I mean, that is part of the struggle at the school district. Our healthcare insurance for the employees is skyrocketed, and it's going to skyrocket next year. The insurance company already told us that. And we have a large percentage of employees, and I'm talking, across the board in terms of titles, who are either categorized as obese, overweight, diabetic, high blood pressure, and some of the other concerns. And so we really need to focus upon a culture of wellness and a culture of addressing some of these deeper issues in the community. And that comes back also to athletics. And athletics are crucial, I think, in a school district, a public school district. And we need to ensure that our students have equitable opportunities for athletics in comparison to school districts of their size, like Hollidaysburg, like Du Bois, Williamsport, and some of the other districts. And so we need to be sure we're spending similar amounts of money and that students have access to those opportunities, and expand on more lifestyle activities as well. That may mean bowling, archery, target shooting, swimming, hiking, kayaking, and we are exploring, we were informed of this, potentially esports. That is the hottest, quote unquote, trend right now. We have some colleges in that have esports. And that delves into areas like computers, graphics, a whole variety. So it's about preparing students to engage in activities that they will continue to engage in after graduation. And sometimes there's major sports that may not, but some of these other activities, we need to emphasize wellness.
Follow-up question. It seems there's just a little bit of a trend in the county now. Folks are starting to turn more toward collaboration, finding out that each group that we have just can't do it on their own. Oh, they do that? Awesome. So we do have these great places that have these resources located, university being one of them, but we have the YMCA and other places. How, maybe I just not put words in your mouth. Could you talk a little bit about that kind of thing, the district becoming more and more?
Absolutely. Now, if we went back 50 years ago, the school districts were their own separate entities, towns and counties were their own separate entities. A couple of us on the school board just returned from the Pennsylvania School Boards Association conference, and part of that is networking and learning about what's going on in other areas. And a number of school districts have model partnerships created where they've received grants, or community organizations have received grants similar to Y, Boys and Girls Clubs, this kind of thing. They're providing after-school programming, supplemental programming, especially for high-need buildings. And we need to recognize in this county that we have two buildings, Robb Elementary students and Bucktail Elementary, that have very high number of students who originate from families living in poverty, at poverty, or below the poverty level. And at Robb, we also have a percentage of students entering who have English as a second language. These issues cannot be addressed merely in the classroom. It requires community collaboration between government entities and community entities, faith-based entities to address root causes of poverty, root causes of divorce, root causes of health in a family, domestic violence. All of those root causes need a partnership and close collaboration. And I think we're poised at the school district to focus on this with the incoming superintendent. And we have county commissioners who are willing to look at this issue as well. And I know we have a board that wants this. And I think that's the way we're going to address some of these root cause issues within the county.
We're coming down close to the end of time here already. It's very, very interesting. And so there are two topics that we didn't get, so I'm going to ask you to do simultaneously.
Okay.
Sounds like you're capable, but and it's not that they should be taken lightly. It's just we've got another hour. That would be awesome. Well, perhaps another time. Ooh, awesome. Thank you. Ooh. Well, let me do that. And think finance and think safety and security at the moment. We'll do, but I'll let these three. Yeah, three. Okay. Okay. This has something to do with safety and security. So there are things, and in both of those topics, it's just what will your candidacy, what will your participation continue on the board? How will that make a difference as opposed to anyone else that's coming in? So, as far as safety, what are your thoughts, or how would you make things better in regard to, employees at board, helping the board to protect the rights of, LGBTQ, students and faculty? That whole, um, situation right now, we,
Yeah, that's a lot. In one question, but in terms of the way I operate, folks, and those who are online or who watch this later, one of my strategies being on the board and the way I tend to work in groups is I'm a listener first. And my opinion, we have some board members who are not listeners. They tend to instead focus on their own opinions and their own very strong background, and tend to want to tell people who are coming to the board meetings or who are asking questions, I want to sit and listen to you. I want you to email me. I want you to comment. I want you to contact me on Facebook. I'll listen to you, even if your opinion may be slightly different or dramatically different. But I'll honestly take it in and hear your opinion. So I tend to be a very collaborative individual, a strong listener, and I tend to be a little more, I think, socially oriented than some of the board members. And what I mean by that is there's a point where you need to relax a little, folks. And we have some board members, I'm going to be honest with this, who are a little high strung. And they can make emotions enter some very, what I do not perceive need to be heated debates. To me, they can be solved. And one of them is safety and security. We all want our students, our sons and daughters, our nieces and nephews, my neighbors, I want them all to feel safe when they walk in Central Mountain, and when they walk in Rock, and when they're sitting in the classroom, when they go to the bathroom, when they're in their locker room. I don't want students to hold their bladder to be scared to go to the restroom. Part of that comes back to culture. Are we providing, as a school board, are we providing the security staff, the teachers, the administrators, the funding and the ability to address those issues in the training? And we're starting to do that. The district is investing heavily in security equipment, staffing, training, related to these issues. There's a lot of new technology that can place in restrooms that can tell how many people are in a room, and it sends an alarm to the security staff. The issue is, do you have a security staff who can respond to that? And so, there's always a consequence to every action. And also, what kind of training can we provide students so that they will report issues, that they feel empowered to talk with a peer? And I'd like to see a trained peer mentor program within the school district that can even complement some of the judicial systems that are going on in the school district. The school district is also helping to strengthen student council. And I think all of these together, we can work with our new incoming superintendent to create a culture of positivity and a culture that acknowledges the struggles of being a teacher, a coach, and a parent, and how we can help them along. So my role is be positive, be available, read, and listen.
What is DEI and how do you think it can be implemented in KCSD?
Diversity, equity, inclusion is a term that came about in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And Keystone Central should be embracing diversity. All institutions should. The research on diversity shows that, for example, corporations that promote training and hiring within of women are more likely to receive more applications from women for open positions. And so that's just one minor example. We need to create a culture that acknowledges the contributions of what traditionally could be marginalized populations. So it may be students of color. It may be differently abled students. It may be gifted students. It may be different income levels. It may be sexual minorities, diversity. So it's all along a whole continuum. And that means creating a culture that acknowledges those employees, staff, coaches, but also the students, and how we can make them feel comfortable reporting to school every day, making our curriculum stronger.
One more, then you could say whatever you wish to say. Because we do need to just to say something and address finances. You hit on it in some places, but what are your budget priorities?
First of all, folks, on the board, there were 3 members of the board that voted against the tax increase in 2023. And I was one of them, and the other, David Dietrich and Elizabeth Leighton. And the reason was not that we're opposed to taxes. There are times you have to raise taxes to pay increases in salaries, benefits, facilities are incredibly expensive. What we were looking for is more transparency around the budget in the way the budget was presented to the public and to us. And this was brought home to us at the Pennsylvania School Boards Association conference, where we saw how other school districts present the budget to their board and to the public. It's very clear, concise, understanding. And so we voted against it because of some confusion related to it. And we felt because we have a budget surplus, and that maybe it didn't need to be as high a tax increase as what was being proposed. And folks, we need to understand the data from the Center for Rural Pennsylvania shows dramatic drop in population in all of the rural counties of Pennsylvania. And so the legislators are really alarmed about this. And so what are we doing in Keystone Central preparing for that for the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years? Well, we're building a $20 million new building for 140 students. I'm not saying that's bad, because students deserve a nice building, beautiful building. They're Their parents pay taxes. But we need to look at priorities and what we need to be doing. And we need further involvement from citizens in the community, not just a facilities committee that consists of a couple school board members, a superintendent, a facilities person, and a principal. We need citizens from around the county committees who are helping us to make decisions for the next 10 to 20 years. And so that's my funding priority is empower our teachers, our coaches, our counselors, and the superintendent. We have a new superintendent coming in. Whoever that is, the first 1 to 2 years are crucial. It's our role as a board to give them the tools to succeed. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so my voice is cracking sometimes, especially I get, passionate about the issue. So my goal is to look for grants, maybe even hire a full-time grant writer in the district. We also need a social media coordinator. Currently, the way the school district is doing it, they can assign a secretary who has a million other duties, who does a very nice job. But we need a professional who can handle all social media, Instagram, Facebook, press, etc., to focus upon all the positives. Our public doesn't understand all the wonderful things our clubs, our athletic teams, our individual students are achieving, families are achieving, and our teachers. Our teachers are amazing in this. People don't understand the hours they put in and the summers they put in. And I just want to acknowledge that. So those are priorities. Oh, one more priority. The district needs to bring back the librarians. We need them. We cannot be having one librarian for multiple schools. If we're going to create a media literacy culture, that's what a librarian does. And the new libraries of the future are community centers. And that's what needs to happen, is our libraries partner with communities, bring communities into the library of schools, and vice versa.
I have that, I'm sorry. The security system that you're talking about, the district is going to be, or they're planning to looking at that computer system. Will that address or help with the drug problem?
It will help with the vaping because there is a system that they place a monitor in the restrooms and it detects vape and it notifies them security. And and folks, when you listen about vaping issues and substance abuse problems, this is a nationwide issue. This is not just a Keystone Central issue. You can go to any district in all of North Central Pennsylvania, they will say the exact same issues. But we do have a problem. And once again, this is collaboration because our guidance counselors and some of our teachers are telling us they handle the students at work and they work with them during that 8 to 4 time period. The students are going home and vaping with their parents, getting high on marijuana with their parents. They're drinking alcohol. They're allowed to drink alcohol at home. And so for the teacher who is trying to address that issue, imagine the challenge. And so there's some deep-rooted issues that have to occur in this county to address OxyContin abuse, vaping abuse, alcoholism, drug addiction, And that's going to take work between law enforcement, probation, juvenile probation, children and youth, YM, CA, you know, the whole multitude of teamwork here. The school district cannot handle this on its own and shouldn't handle it on its own. That is my opinion.
I told you it was the floor is yours. You get to now tell us anything you were unable to tell, just came to mind. This is the last statement of the night.
Well, thank you for listening to me. Folks, I know sometimes on the outside, it seems like the school board is this bureaucratic monolith in Central Mountain High School. But those meetings are open to the public. The board docs, documents are open to the public. Anyone in the community, whether you have a child in the district or they graduated, 20 years ago, you can comment. You can come to a meeting and state your opinion, or send a letter, or send an email. Always copy others. Just don't send it to one, copy either the whole board. And also on occasion, I get a member of the public who will see me in the grocery store and talk to me. I do bring back to you the superintendent or the appropriate committee. But I really love it if they would come forward. And so, I also urge employees, we have a whistleblower policy in the district as a result of our current board president, David Dietrich, his efforts. It was approved by the entire board. And so if you're an employee who has an issue, you can report that issue and you're guaranteed protection. And that's a pretty radical thing to do. And radical. It's a very employee affirming policy, and it also recognizes that we value what the teacher tells us, what the paraprofessional tells us, and what the custodians tell us. Frankly, sometimes the custodians know more about what's going on in the building than a lot of people, and so do the secretaries. And you know what? School bus drivers. And another big issue I would like to address is transportation. We have a large geographic region. There's no problem, no issue with that. We all understand that. Due to the bus driver shortage, we have students riding an hour each direction on the school bus. That's too long. We need to figure out how we can address this issue nationwide, related to getting bus drivers, giving them incentives, giving them bonuses, and getting them on the job around the state. Do you know there are a couple school districts in the state that within the last month have had to go cyber because they didn't have enough bus drivers on certain days? That is bizarre and awful. And we also need charter school reform. And so anyway, I appreciate your vote. I welcome your vote. Let's all go out for a drink one night or soda or coffee. I'm happy to do that. And we're all here for the children. We want our kids to graduate and either go to college or VOTEC or career training or something. We want them to feel accomplished. And that's what I'm here to help do, is empower this district. We have a great group of people, a great community. How much more beautiful can you get than driving up the Liner and looking out over the valley? How much nicer can you get? So we live in a beautiful region of the country, and I think we ought to make this a great place to live and stay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back. So we do have like 10 minutes to be out of building. My notes says we have to be out by 7:45. But before we go, thank you, Pizza Central School District for offering this place for us. Me tonight and Rick Fitzgerald, is he here tonight? No, Rick.
He's out of town, for family.
That's our event sponsor, so we can say Rick, thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight, and for your questions.
And thanks to the custodians who helped set up tonight. They're somewhere else in the building.
And thanks for the refreshments, and thanks for the committee for setting this up.
They came from cookies.
Did the house inside? Good.
Yeah.
Now we're good, now we can. So thanks again, everybody, tonight. Stay home. Thank you for the refreshment.